The billionaire, Richard Harlow, had just slipped his leather wallet back into his jacket after paying for his dinner at a quiet, family-owned diner on the outskirts of town. He had come there to escape the polished boardrooms and hollow toasts of his world, searching for something real, something grounding. He never expected the young waitress with tired eyes and a hopeful smile to stop him with those words that pierced the air like a lightning strike. Her name tag read, Emily. She stood there trembling, holding the wallet he had accidentally dropped while reaching for his phone. With shaky hands, she pulled out a small worn photograph tucked in a hidden slot. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "That's my dad." "How do you have this?" Richard's throat went dry. He glanced at the photo. Yes, it was the same one he had carried for years. A man in a faded army uniform standing proudly with a little girl perched on his shoulder. That photo had been given to him a decade ago, by the very soldier in the picture, Captain Daniel Miller. Daniel wasn't just anyone. He had been Richard's best friend during college, the one who kept him grounded when ambition threatened to consume him. Years later, when Richard's business collapsed during its early years, Daniel had been the one who loaned him money without hesitation. Richard had promised to pay him back, but before that could happen, Daniel was deployed overseas. News came later that he had died in service. Grief-stricken, Richard kept the photo Daniel once showed him, as a reminder of the kind of man he aspired to be: brave, loyal, and selfless. Now, standing in front of him was Daniel's daughter. Richard's voice faltered. "Emily, your father saved my life more times than I can count. Not just in battlefields of business, but in life itself. He was my brother." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes. She pulled out her phone and showed him another picture. Her, as a little girl, sitting on her father's shoulders. The exact same moment from the photo he had carried all these years. Her father had taken 2 copies, one he kept for himself, and the other, it seemed, he had given to Richard before leaving. Emily's lips trembled. "Mom said Dad always talked about a friend who'd change the world one day. I never thought I'd meet you." Richard felt a weight lift and a responsibility fall at the same time. For years he had been building empires, chasing wealth, but suddenly none of it mattered. What mattered was standing here, in this modest diner, facing the daughter of the man who had sacrificed everything. He cleared his throat, trying to steady his emotions. "Emily, do you and your mother have everything you need?" She hesitated, her eyes betraying a struggle she clearly didn't want to reveal. Finally, she admitted, "Mom's been sick for a while. I've been working double shifts to keep up with bills. College. I had to put it on hold." Richard froze again, but this time with determination. Here was his chance, not just to repay an old debt, but to honor his friend. Slowly, he reached into his jacket and pulled out a pen. On the back of a receipt, he scribbled his personal number. "From today, you don't carry this alone. Whatever you need, school, medical bills, anything, you call me. Your father gave me more than money. He gave me courage. Let me give back to his family." Emily's tears spilled freely as she clutched the slip of paper. For the first time in years, she felt seen, not as a struggling waitress, but as someone whose father's sacrifice still echoed in the hearts he touched. The diner grew silent, other customers watching with hushed awe. Richard, the billionaire known for boardroom ruthlessness, was now just a man with tears in his eyes, reaching across the table to hold the hand of a young woman who reminded him of everything he had almost forgotten. In that small-town diner, with the hum of the jukebox in the background and the faint smell of fresh coffee lingering in the air, 2 lives intertwined by fate found a moment of healing. Emily whispered softly, "Thank you, Mr. Harlow." Dad would have been proud. And for the first time in decades, Richard believed he was finally becoming the man his best friend always knew he could be.